to the car. Whoa. How many of us remember being 16? And you get to start driving. How many of us as parents remember when our children turned driving age and they got to start driving? It changed what it was for them to be late at night getting in, didn't it? And we forget what we did at that age. That's a passing of the mantle. It's a passing of the mantle. It's going from Elijah to Elisha. We do it with stuff because that's symbolic, but what's really happening in the midst of passing the mantle of Elijah to Elisha is the authority, the power, the responsibility. In a few moments, I'll read off a list of the officers of our church for the 2012 year. Those officers will be asked to come and stand along the front of the church. After we've done that, and a liturgy and a prayer, we'll have a passing of the mantle. After we are in that part of passing the mantle, those officers before that will go sit down. We the church are receiving the spirit of Elijah. Boy, I'm going to change things now because this is how I think it should have been done years ago. Oh, yeah? Our son loves to collect guns and old cars and new cars and trucks and anything else like that you can work on or fool with or hunt or fish with. And he's always coming up for the last 10 years, Dad, let's go buy this gun. Which means he'll go pick a gun out and I'll pay for it. I don't want to. Well, why don't you want to? I said, because I got to take care of things. And lo and behold, a day came when that young man started working and he had to start taking care of himself and paying his bills. And I said, Derek, let's go buy a gun. You got the money? I don't. I said, oh. Now, he's going on 28 years old. It took a little while for responsibility and accountability and stewardship, and that it's more than just an instant gratification in life to step into his personhood. But when that happened, he has a retirement account, and he has a savings account, and he carries a lot less in the checking than he does the savings. That's a major transformation for that young man, because he had a whole lot of irresponsible wants without understanding the accountability and the power and the stewardship of the spirit of Elijah. And so now when he's talking about things, his two sisters says, Derek, you sound just like Dad. Well, you sound like Mom. Elijah and Elisha played out in our family, and it probably happens in your family. And it happens in the church. How that we pass this mantle from a generation to the next generation. That they're being schooled and mentored and taught not what to do, but how to do it. There's a big difference to think that Elijah was telling Elisha what to do. No. Elijah was telling Elisha how to do it. Be accountable, be responsible. Elisha had a reverence fear that respected the spirit of Elijah, and he knew it was of God. Elijah was saying words like these. The Lord lives and if you live. As the Lord lives and as you live, Elijah said twice. Elijah struck the water and the water parted. Now it's all in the hands of Elisha. Here it is, Elisha. It's yours. You get your chance. Giving it to you. Elijah asked Elisha, what do you want? A double portion of your spirit. I want to be twice as much like you. I want to be twice as much like you. Elijah said these words, if you'll hang with me till I'm gone, it'll be upon you. If you go run off on your own, you're out of the place where it'll fall. And Elisha hung in there. And he stands now at the water with the folded mantle of Elijah, facing the water, facing the prophets that are on the other side of the water, prayed for a double portion, and all of the pressure's now upon Elisha, who says, I want what you got and more. And Elijah said, here it is. So now here's Elisha. I hope Elijah was right. I hope I've done right. I hope my faith is there. I've got this mantle. And he struck the water. And he said, where is the Lord God of Elijah? And he struck the water. And the water parted here and there. That's the ongoing life of the church. Is when we pick up the blessings of God that have come through the Elijahs of our life, and they become our advisors. We had a general, give you a history test, served out his time as a general, retired, became military advisor in 38 or 39 to the Philippines. I thought somebody was saying his name. We're in a history test. World War I starts. And we have that war going on. And the United States is looking for someone to command the Pacific area. And they pull that general back out of retirement. What was his famous statement? Remember, to the Philippines? I'll be back. Who was the general? Okay, pass the history test. You see, what the Elijahs, and if you're an Elijah here today, you're not retiring, you're not retired, you haven't quit, you're not just out there, you become our advisors. You become our rock that's weathered the storm and been through the challenges and said, but it still works. The spirit of Elijah, of the God of Elijah. You become